It is time for another Val's House of Musing short story. This one comes from, I wrote it, it's in the close to home section. This isn't in the horror and unpleasantries like some of the other ones I've read. So I woke up in the middle of the night. I could barely breathe. I was hot and dizzy. And by the time I made it to the ER, because I didn't know what was wrong with me, come to find out I was pushing like 104, 105 fever or some shit like that, and had to take Motrin and Tylenol alternating every 3 hours for several days because I came up positive for type A flu. My toddler had came home from daycare with it, apparently, but for some reason, because my immune system sucks, I got hit with it so hard, so fast, that it was quite alarming. And so I was quarantined to the back room, and treated like a plague victim. But it got me thinking, and I was frustrated. And so this was sort of like my complaint letter to flu itself, a personification of the flu, with a lot of the facts that I feel have been forgotten, that the flu has done, how devastating the flu has been historically. So there's a little darkness and scariness about that. But to us who have had the flu, and to us who may be suffering from the flu, I got your back, flu. Here's my letter to the flu. Dear flu, thank you for reminding me how quickly and efficiently you can spread and take a grown person down along with an entire household from one tiny toddler. I now fully understand how you were able to wipe out most of Boston during World War I and took out nearly 43,000 servicemen. So think about that. 43,000 servicemen died before they even went across the Atlantic. In fact, the 1918 scourge killed 10 times more Americans, approximately 675,000 people, than those who died in the war. Some say you killed more than the Black Death. And after our personal meeting, I would have to agree. In fact, did you not wipe out entire villages in Alaska even? And worse, you targeted those between the ages of 20 and 40, knocking the human race to its knees and wiping out half of those strapping young adults. I have been humbled by this nightmarish plague of coughing, infection, diarrhea, vomiting, eye gunk, fever, and many more unpleasantries. This lesson of viral disasters come back to life under my roof will forever shift my habits to getting the shot in July, August, and not after school season starts. Let this be a warning to the populace that you, Mr. Influenza, are out there looking for other lives to destroy for weeks on end. Signed, your latest victim, Valerie Willis. So, yeah, from Val's House of Musing, there's a lot of little short pieces like that, flash fiction and stuff. But that was like, I read a book called A Time for Angels by, I want to say it's Kelly Hess, and it was this little contemporary historical fiction about a little Jewish girl in Boston whose household is under, the flu, and in her feverish state she ends up on a train, and before she knows it she's being cared for basically a German grandpa someplace, and brought back to health. But it got me curious because I was like, why would you tell this story? Because I had not learned once in my history classes. I'd learned about World War I, but no one had covered, nowhere did it cover the fact we lost more people from a flu than the actual war. And to me, that was very alarming, Because what that said historically, and as we know, because we've been through COVID now and the coronavirus, that if anything brings a nation or war or any kind of scenario to its knees, it's going to be a disease. It's going to be a virus. And yet, it always frustrated me every time they covered, X amount of soldiers died in the war. And then I have to be like, dude, do you realize over 675,000 Americans died at the same time on our own land from the flu? Mind blown. And it's not like the hygiene and vaccines were what they are now. So, but that's one of those scary true facts that kind of linger, and you'll see a little bit of that snuck into a lot of these short stories. So, happy spooky season, y'all. See you on the flip.